Chapter 9 by Rachel P. Solitario BLIS 3A. Data Analysis. Statistical analysis, or statistics, is concerned with the development and application of methods and techniques for organizing and analyzing data, usually quantitative, so that the reliability of conclusions based on the data may be evaluated objectively in terms of probability. Role of statistics. Statistical analysis may be used to accomplish for basic purposes. Statistics may indicate the central point around which a mass of data revolves. They may show how broad or diverse the spread can be for a mass of data. Statistics may reveal how closely or distantly certain features within the mass of data are related, as well as whether a relationship even exists. They may indicate the degree to which the facts might have occurred by mere chance, or whether there is a probability of their having been influenced by some factor other than pure chance. Purpose of statistical analysis is to summarize observations or data in such a manner that they provide answers to the hypothesis or research questions. Cautions in using statistics. Statistics are necessary for most research studies involving quantitative data and are particularly crucial at the sampling and analysis stages. The analysis process should be planned well in advance in order to anticipate problems that may be encountered. Steps involved in statistical analysis. Regardless of the specific techniques or tests employed, there are certain basic steps common to virtually all statistical analyses. Those steps will be discussed briefly before taking a more detailed look at the major types of analysis. The establishment of categories. In order to organize and analyze the data collected for a study, it is necessary to place them in categories. In establishing categories, for basic rules or guidelines should be followed. 1. The set of categories or values for any one variable should be derived from a single classificatory principle, which is determined by the research question or hypothesis being investigated. 2. Each set of categories should be exhaustive. 3. The categories within each set should be mutually exclusive. 4. Last, but not least, the development of categories should be based on a sound knowledge of the subject matter and an anticipation of likely responses. Coding of the data. These codes are, in turn, assigned to specified locations in data files, particularly if computer data analysis is planned. Codes assigned to the categories or values of each variable. These codes are, in turn, assigned to specified locations in data files, particularly if computer data analysis is planned. Descriptive statistics. Once the data are ready to be analyzed, the researcher can choose to utilizing descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, or both. Inferential statistics. Using inferential statistics as first described, one could measure the loss rate for a sample of books, and then predict the loss rate for the entire population or collection based on the sample. Statistic. Parametric statistics. Parametric statistics require the assumption of a normal population or distribution. When the data of a normal distribution are plotted on a graph, they should produce a curve that is symmetrical and unimodal. Its mean, median, and mode should all coincide, and there should be a constant area, or proportion of cases, between the mean and an ordinate, which is a given distance from the mean in terms of standard deviations. Non-parametric statistics. Non-parametric statistics are considered to be distribution-free. That is, they do not require the assumption of a normal population, and, therefore, are often used with smaller samples. As they involve weaker assumptions, they are less powerful than the parametric tests and require larger samples in order to yield the same level of significance. Selecting the appropriate statistical test. In selecting the critical region, The researcher is deciding whether one or both tails of the sampling distribution will be used to determine whether the hypothesis will be accepted or rejected. Cautions in testing the hypothesis. In using statistics to test hypotheses, one must always keep in mind that statistical inferences are based on probability, and one can never rely on statistical evidence alone for a judgment of whether a hypothesis is true. Statistical analysis software. Using a statistical software package via servers is an efficient technique for analyzing large amounts of data. An example of such a statistical package is BMDP software. It can be used for a variety of statistical analyses and is not limited to medical research. Analysis of non-quantified data. Major objectives of qualitative data analysis is the generation of concepts. The general process typically involves immersing oneself in the data, looking for patterns, identifying surprising events, and being sensitive to inconsistencies. One of the key activities of qualitative analysis is the coding of data. Summary. Statistical methods are generally used for descriptive purposes and for statistical inference. Descriptive statistics deal with the tabulation of data, their presentation in tabular, graphical or pictorial form, and the calculation of descriptive measures. Inferential statistics are used for making inductive generalizations about populations based on sample data and for testing hypotheses. The typical basic steps in statistical analysis are categorizing the data, coding the data, and calculating the appropriate statistics. Thank you and God bless.